Hello everyone, Mr. Stevens here with another lesson. This time we're looking at frequency histograms. Now, frequency histograms are kind of the other side of the coin to frequency distribution tables. They contain the same information, just one is presented in a table and one is presented visually in a graph. So the two things we want to be able to make sure that we can do is read the data from the histogram and draw them ourselves from a frequency distribution table. Let's jump right in. Here's what they look like. Let me highlight a couple of key features for you here. There's a gap. We don't start right from zero, okay? If we have single values, they go in the middle of the columns underneath. Same thing when we have groups. We put the groups underneath the columns. Ideally in the middle. It's a bit hard to fit some of these ones over here on the right. Next thing is columns touch. And the last thing is there's a little gap at the end here. All the other things that you would expect from a graph are there. Axes are labeled. The graph is given a title. All of that kind of stuff. And this information can come straight from a frequency distribution table, like I already mentioned. We're going to see that here. We have a frequency distribution table, and we want to turn this into a histogram. So let's go about doing that. Let's draw up a set of axes. I want you guys to do this one with me. And we're going to put frequency up the vertical axis. Oh, whoops, I'm still in my straight lines. Frequency. So we go from 0 up to 9, so maybe let's do 1 to 10. Now, when you guys are drawing these in your books, I'm going to very strongly suggest that you use a ruler here. It's a bit hard for me to use a ruler on my iPad screen, so I'm not using one, but when you're in your books, you don't really have an excuse. I would expect you to use one. All right, and then we're going to leave a little gap, and we're going to just mark out where our columns are going to start. So that's going to be our 30 to 39, then up to 49, up to 59, 69, 79, 89. We're going to not forget our label down here. I'm going to write it over here so I don't run out of room. What are we actually recording here? We're recording the weights of students. And you have a choice to make here. We can either write underneath the column, we can write the class, or probably what's more common is to write the class center. This 34.5 is just exactly in the middle of these two numbers. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to label my histogram with the class centers. And then we go ahead and draw the columns as high as they need to be. The first one, the frequency is 0, so we're actually not drawing anything for that first column. Getting ahead of myself, I haven't labeled the numbers up here. And then the second column needs to go up to 5. The 50 to 59 column needs to go up to 7. The 60 to 69 column needs to go up again to 9. And then our next one is at 4. And then our last one is 0. So there you have it. That's a frequency distribution, a frequency histogram. that we've produced from a frequency distribution table. There's another word you might have noticed here in the question, polygon. We don't focus on that one so much, but you may see it used. What the polygon is just once you've drawn the histogram, you just join the center of each column with a line. And that's the polygon. All right, I want you guys to have a go at finishing off this question. You might recognize it because we actually did this part in the last topic, frequency distribution tables. Now, this one that I've got here actually looks a little bit different to the one that I drew in that lesson. And I've done it this way to show you that there's not necessarily a right way to do this. I chose my classes to be from 1 to 10, 11 to 20 when I was doing that video. And if you actually check this example in the textbook, you'll see that they've done it this way. I don't think either way is necessarily correct. And I want you to actually finish this question with your table that you drew for the last lesson. You're going to take that table and you're going to turn it into a histogram. The only thing you need to know that you don't know yet is when you come to do the percentage, which this question asks you to do, you're going to put the percentage up this side. I don't know what the percentages are for this example, but this will be your percentages. And they should line up. So whatever the percentage of this one is, at 4 will also be what the actual percentage is here. If you're a bit unsure about the percentage line, just leave it off until you see my solution, and then I think it will make sense. So you can pause now and have a go at drawing your histogram, and then just have a go at answering these two questions after you've drawn your histogram, please. And after you've paused and had a go, I'll show you my solution here. Right, and here we have my frequency histogram using this table that I have. Let me point out a few things to you. Let's check out this column here, the 10 to 19 group. You can see that it lines up here at 8 and 40% because the frequency is 8 and the percentage is 40. And the same is true of all the other columns. This one lines up here at, this one lines up here at 5 and at 25%, halfway in between 20 and 30. Let me just quickly go through C and D. Which interval is the most frequent? It's the one that shows up the most often. The 10 to 19. You can see it here on the histogram is the tallest column. Now, the last question, what percentage of people use the internet 20 or more times? The people that use the internet 20 or more times are all of these people. So we need to add up all of these percentages. 25 plus 20 plus 5 is 50. All right. So we should be comfortable now with how to read a histogram and how to draw one from a table. You guys will have some stuff to practice now from the textbook, so go ahead and check that out. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact your teacher. Thank you.